Good morning, students. This lesson is of class 8th for the subject physics, topic images formed in a pair of mirrors. And this particular topic is on page number 155 of your textbook titled Concise Physics by Selena Publications and is being submitted to you on 23rd November 2020. All students may now open page number 155 in front of you. Now let us start with a topic for today, that is images formed in two inclined mirrors. Students, for an object kept in between two inclined plane mirrors, we get many images of the object because the light rays after reflection from one mirror fall on the other mirror, as the image formed by one mirror acts as an object for the other mirror. The number of images formed depends on the angle between the two mirrors. First, we will find a value of a factor n. Now, students, this is the process how to find the number of images. Firstly, we will calculate the value of n, which can be calculated by finding the ratio of 360 degree divided by the angle of inclination between the two plane mirrors, which we will take as theta. So students, if the value of n, the factor n, comes out to be even number, then the number of images formed will be given by n minus 1. Now let us understand it by an example. If the two plane mirrors are inclined to each other at 90 degree, then n will be equal to 360 divided by 90, which comes out to be 4. It is an even number. So the number of images formed will be n minus 1, that is 4 minus 1, which will be equal to 3. Now students, here the number of images formed in case of when the mirror is placed perpendicular to each other is 3. Now students, what happens if the value of n comes out to be an odd number? So if the value of n comes out to be an odd number, then we are having two different cases. The first case is if the number of images we have to find, it will be taken as n only when the object is placed asymmetrically between the mirrors. Now students, the word asymmetric means that the object is closer to one of the mirror and farther from the other mirror. While we are having one more word known as symmetric, and the symmetric means the object is placed at the angle bisector of the two plane mirrors. So students, if the object is placed asymmetrically, then number of images formed is n, while if the object is placed symmetrically, that is, it is placed at the angle bisector of the two mirrors, then number of images formed will be given as n minus 1. For example, if the two mirrors are inclined at 72 degrees with respect to each other, then if theta is 72 degrees, then n, the value of n will be 360 divided by 72, which comes out to be 5. Now 5 is an odd number. So here we'll be having two cases, that if the object is placed asymmetrically, then number of images formed will be n, that is 5. But if the object is placed symmetrically, then number of images formed will be 5 minus 1, that is 4. So students, now let us do some questions. Question number 1 is, if the two mirrors are placed parallel to each other, then find the number of images formed when an object is placed between the mirrors. So students, for such question, just keep in your mind that the angle between two parallel mirrors or two parallel lines is 0 degree. So the angle between the two parallel lines is 0 degree. Since the mirror are placed parallel, so theta is 0 degree, and 360 divided by 0, something divided by 0 comes out to be infinite. So how many images are formed here? An infinite number of images are formed. Now question number 2, an object is placed asymmetrically and symmetrically. There are two cases in the question, that an object is placed first asymmetrically, second you are placing it symmetrically between two plane mirrors at an angle of 50 degrees. Then find the number of images formed. So first find the factor n, that is 360 divided by 50. So 360 divided by 50 comes out to be 7.2. Now students, which 7.2 will be written as only 7. It is not that I am rounding 7.2 into 7. No. Students, there is a word known as truncation. Truncation means cutting. So we have to cut the decimal part. I cannot say that 7.2 images are formed, 7.5 images are formed. This can't be said. So even if the value of n was 7.9, then also we have to take the value as 7. Don't take it as 8, because we are not rounding, we are doing truncation. So here the value of n will be taken as 7, which is of course an odd number. So student, asymmetric, in case of asymmetric position of the object, number of image formed will be 7 only. That is the value of n. And for symmetric position, the number of images would have been n minus 1. That is 7 minus 1, which is equal to 6. Now, students, I'm giving you a question. Kindly try that question yourself and solve it in your physics notebook. So listen to the question carefully. Two plane mirrors are placed making an angle of 60 degrees in between them. You have to find the number of images formed for an object placed in between the mirror. So the answer for the given question would have been n is equal to 360 degree divided by theta, that is 60, and 360 by 60 is 6, and 6 is an even number. So it doesn't matter whether the object is placed symmetrically or asymmetrically. So you are taking n6, which is an even number. So the number of images formed is 6 minus 1, which is equal to 5. So students, with this, I am ending today's interactive session. You all are advised to go through the notes sent to you on 23rd November 2020. Thank you, students. Good morning, students. Students, today we will learn about the topic which was sent to you on 23rd November 2020. So there we have learned the formula that n is equal to 360 degree by theta. So students, if the two mirrors are placed perpendicular to each other, that means theta is 90 degree. So what will be n? It will be 360 degree divided by 90 degree, which comes out to be 4. And since 4 is an even number, therefore number of images formed in case of even number is always n minus 1. That is 4 minus 1, 3 images. Whether the object is placed symmetrical or asymmetrical, it doesn't matter. If n comes out to be 4, then number of images formed will be, in case of even, it is n minus 1. So let us learn this with an activity shown to you right now. So students, see the two plane mirrors. Mirror number 1 on the right side, I will be saying it as mirror number 1, and the other mirror is M2, second, placed on the left side. These are two mirrors placed at 90 degree to each other. So there we are fixing the two plane mirrors 90 degree to each other and placed a sheet below it. Now this candle will act as an object, and this object is placed in a such manner that it is placed at angle bisector of 90 degree. That means this candle is placed at angle bisector of 90. What is angle bisector? Half of an angle. So I have placed this candle in such a way that it is making angle 45 degree with the left mirror, mirror number 2, and it is making an angle on the of 45 degree of the right mirror, that is mirror number 1. Now if you just see clearly how many images you can see here. First image, second image, third image. The number of images are 3. You have placed an object at symmetrical position and the two plane mirrors are 90 degree to each other. So the object is 1. The mirrors are 2 inclined at 90 degree. Then what is occurring here? 3 images are formed. And that is what we studied in our numerical part also. That number of images will be 4 minus 1, 3 images. Now students, if the two mirrors were kept at 120 degree to each other, then the ratio would have been 360 by 120, which would have been 3. 3 is an odd number. So there are two cases. Whether the object is placed symmetrically, that is on the angle bisector. Okay, then your number of images will be 3 minus 1, that is 2. But if the object is placed asymmetrically or unsymmetrically, then the number of images would have been the same number, that is 3. So if you get an odd number, what you have to do? You have to check whether it is a symmetric position or asymmetric position. You'll get two different answers. But if you are having even number, you will always have number of images as n minus 1. So here the number of images will be either 2 or 3 depending on the position of the object. So students, here what I have done, I have placed the object in such a way that it is placed at an angle bisector of 120 degree. The two mirrors M1 and M2 are at 120 degree. It is an obtuse angle between the two plane mirrors, while the object is placed at the center of the angle, that is at the angle bisector, such that the angle between the object and the first mirror is 60 degree. Similarly, the angle between the object and the second mirror is also 60 degree. So in this case, when the object is placed symmetrically, how many images you can see? You are able to see 2 images. Now 360 divided by 120 comes out to be 3, which is an odd number. Object is placed the object is placed symmetrically. Then the number of images will be n minus 1, 3 minus 1. So the images formed in this category is 2. So students, here two images were formed when one candle was placed, one object was placed. Now let us bring the object, the camera closer. Just see, can you see anything behind here? Any other image is visible? See, no other image is placed. But if I change the place now what I am doing? I am bringing the object closer to my first mirror. I am placing the object asymmetrically or unsymmetrically. Now the angle between the first mirror and the candle is very less as compared to the angle between second mirror and the object. Now students, right now though you are able to see that you are having 2 images, but let us find the third image. It is hidden somewhere. So let us see where it is. See, Let us go towards the left and right side of the mirror. First of all, I will be going towards first mirror. I'm not able to see anything behind the mirror. I'm coming now towards the second mirror. See? Can you find one more thing there? Now see, what are you seeing? What are you able to observe? How many images are there now? There are 3 images. What does it mean? It means that if the object was placed asymmetrically, when the 2 mirrors are placed to 120 degree, number of images formed here in this case is 3. I hope now the topic of formation of number of images is clear to you all. Thank you, students.